Hi, I am Osman. I'm an energy healer on a master level with telepathic capabilities. I specialize in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses, among a host of other physiological, psychological, and spiritual ailments as well. I'm also an advanced level yoga and meditation teacher. Visit my website, yogawellness786.com, for more information. Also, remember my therapies are all natural based and not a replacement for medical therapy. Can long standing disabilities be cured? Especially if it is termed incurable and it's not known to be cured by traditional methods. Most certainly, yes, it can be cured. And evidence of this is from so many stories that are available. You can go to the website of Dr. Joe Dispenza. You can where there's so many stories of how people who were disabled in a wheelchair for 12 years and with an illness that's incurable, by traditional medical methods or any traditional methods, and they just walk up and started to walk. And there were people who were paralyzed, from neck downwards, paraplegic for life. People with children with autism, so many accounts and stories that have been cured. Or go to Dr. Brooke Goldner's website and see she's got over 4,000 documented cases of cases that were incurable or deemed incurable were reversed, right? Reversed, and people are no longer suffering with those ailments, right? And even blind people that could see, and people that could not walk and walk, and cancers getting cured, terminal illnesses going away. So this is happening, a lot, and these things can be cured. It requires it requires faith, belief, and action on your part, that you need to do something, to make a commitment. So, at least to access the program, or follow, the rules and regulations, and the prescribed lifestyle changes that you need, and you will know, and it will happen. And sometimes it only needs a belief, strong belief, and with your own mind. The mind is so powerful. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, long as you believe, it will achieve it, right? It's just a matter of time. So yes, there is many incurables that can be cured, and do not lose hope. Some just may need more time and need more effort, right? So I've lost my eyesight now for about 2 years, and it is something which is a very difficult problem normally, through the normal medical means, and it's declared incurable. But I can feel with my own belief that I will recover it. And I know what I need to do. And I need to put in a very disciplined effort to push forward, and, and it will recover. So I didn't just leave it. As I was losing my eyesight, I explored every avenue, every medical avenue first, right? I was did the responsible thing and explored every medical avenue until my eyesight was completely lost, and even after it was lost, continued, and until nothing worked. Then I continued to try the next. I analyzed what could be the next possible solutions, from a healing perspective, and applied. So the traditional healing methods was not working, right, or not working fast enough, right? And then I had to go to a higher healing methods and increase my own healing energy capability. So the one good, many good things came out of it. I continued to increase the power of my healing energy, and it started to become easier and easier for me to cure more and more greater range of highly difficult levels of illnesses, right? So I eventually became, specialized in critical care recovery and terminal illnesses. My rate of positive outcomes is so high, right? It's unbelievable, and I'm afraid to mention it always, because I don't want to give people false hope. And I always say to each person, it's there's no guarantee in it, but as the years are rolling by, more and more I'm doing, and I'm able to overcome them. And there was one patient that I lost, and it was a critical care recovery, and I was very disappointed. It was like my first major failure, where the person lost his life and they trusted me, to save his life. But the reports from the medical field said that there were several blood vessels that burst in his, in his brain. That if he even had survived, he would have been a vegetable. He would not even been able to know and understand his environment, who he was and where he was, and so forth. And he was already gone. You know, he was already gone. It was just for his heart to stop beating and so forth. So he was uh, beyond the point, way long beyond the point of no return, right? Not just on the point or reaching the point of no return. And so I try to find solace in that and find humility. I found humility in that case, and I found humility in my own case, that I'm able to help so many people in so many things, but certain things. So this is related to nerve damage, right? And nerves need to grow. When it's healing, it grows 1 centimeter per month, and there are miles and miles of nerves, in your body. So of course it's going to take time, but as an energy healer, we don't want to take years and years. We want it fast. Then I realized I need to go to the next, the next quantum level. And what was confounding me was some of the lifestyle habits, whether I need to make those sacrifices in order to reach that particular level of being able to miraculously heal, almost every illness, including, my own nerve damage related eyesight loss, right? Where the optic nerve is damaged. And repairing the optic nerve, even with stem cell therapy, is like almost impossible, because there is some chemicals that are protecting the optic nerve that prevents any foreign body entering, even if it is healing energy, or healing, stem cell chemicals, right? That are being injected into that area. It prevents, the regrowth of that particular nerve, right? So, but there is a quantum level, of meditation that one can go into, and awaken and build up. So I'm not trying to go once off into it. I'm trying to build the capacity to be permanently in me, not only to heal myself, to be able to exponentially, create a healing methodology for thousands and thousands of people with a similar problem. Which, of course, if I can't heal my own in this particular case, I cannot heal other people's in that same case, right? And it's like almost similar to regrowing bone, right? I have um, repaired tooth damage, where one of my tooth was loose, and if I pushed it, it would have just fell off, right? And I've just pushed it back in place, and I sent healing energy. It took me about 3 weeks. It was cemented into place and back to normal. So if I feel my tongue there, yes, it is firm in place, but that tooth is not like the other teeth. It seems to be, like partially dead, the nerves, but it was like completely dead, but it's coming, it's improving as the months and week as the weeks and months are progressing. And this happened about uh, 2 years ago, just about two and a half, nearly 2.25 years ago. And great improvement over the time. So the teeth and bones, take especially your teeth, is very difficult to reverse, right? So bone damage and nerve damage are the two most difficult. That takes a lot of energy, to repair, including, I mean, I've even reversed facial scars. And when I reversed the facial scars, it took so much of energy off me. It was more difficult than healing cancer or terminal illnesses or critical care recovery, or almost the same, because it takes so much of energy all in one go. But the skin scar removal consistently was depleting me very heavily. I was like, it was a 48-day protocol. At the end of that 48 days, I was left with no energy. I needed, I couldn't continue, the next cycle without taking a break. I needed to take a break, before I could continue, for the next cycle. But it was like 80% gone within the first cycle. I would say 90% gone, within the first cycle. So in the second cycle, it would have been complete. And it was amazing, transformation. So can difficult illnesses, be removed? Yes, for sure. I am convinced of it, right? And I've researched, case studies, especially from, when you listen to Dr. Dispenza's, he's got a YouTube channel. He's got over 1.4 million followers, and he's got over 990 videos. And it's very inspiring. If you watch those videos, you will get belief that it can be done, and you will hear the stories of how people pushed through reverse, and where things got worse they didn't give up hope and they went through and pushed through, right? And even stories that I'm giving you and what I'm saying about my own, where I had goals and it took me 40 years, to attain certain goals. And I attained it. It took me 13 years for one goal, 6 years for another goal in business, right? In business, I had a 6 year, 9 year, and 13 year, challenge. And I always say either I'm going to achieve it or die trying. And not trying the same thing all the time, changing, right? Giving everything is due, and then looking. And sometimes you ran out of options, and it's just that you can't find it. Keep searching, and you'll find the option. And say, oh, okay, there's a new option. Here's something I can try, and you keep trying until you and not blindly trying. Make a calculated analysis, and try it. And sometimes something that you put off and found that maybe it's not, something beneficial. Like for example, in my videos, they're very um, amateur style. There's no professional lighting. There's no professional sound. I eventually was gifted this microphone that made a huge difference, in the quality. And it's just, and I'm a blind person. I don't have someone recording for me. I just got my phone. I'm recording with my phone, and I just managed to get a tripod, and I just slip it on and using voice commands and voice control, on my phone, and creating it because I felt rather create the content because I was wanting to do these videos, for about 10 years, right? And I kept pushing it off. And then I wanted the ideal time and the ideal, situation, and have a proper studio and lighting and the right people and the right staff and editing and so forth. And I did have people, and they were not reliable. They didn't stay long enough, and they lost hope. That the videos were not performing. Within a very short space of time. But I'm not in this for monetizing my videos or making money from it. I'm here to bring a message across, on energy healing and advanced yoga and meditation. The protocol that I've developed is a unique combination of many masters that I studied under and brought it together as one whole protocol that are made very practical for the 21st century. I spent almost 5 decades, researching, honing, adding, simplifying, and bringing in, more and more amazing strategies as, it came along, and tried and tested it to make it very easy as a one-place stop, because so many people are wasting, decades of their life and not making the necessary progress, and continuing and just wasting the time. And it was so sad for me to see one person that had spent 50 years, meditating with no progress and stuck. And the saddest is my most recent student. She's been spending, I think, 63 years, right? 63 years wasting her time, right? And she's now 79 years old. and from her age of 16, involved in a daily protocol, but a protocol which was not something that is effective, right? So it may have been effective for some people, but wasn't effective enough for her. She needed more tools. And I met her about 25 years ago and explained, that what she was doing is inadequate and she needs to, and she refused to follow my advice saying that her teacher told her only to do one, two, three, right? And she's going to just follow what her teacher said. So 25 years later, she realized, and I spoke to her again, and this time she adopted, the small changes that are recommended, and then she also needed assistance with unblocking of, all the obstacles along her psychic centers and energy centers, which is when I, went into it, I was so amazed at how blocked it was, and so much of blockages, that it didn't automatically unblock, and so much of negative energy came out because it comes and affects me, it spirals me down, and I needed to take a break, to recover, the negativity, because she was not critically ill or anything, right? But she was initially critically ill, and I attended to that. I believe I saved her life because she was not eating properly for a 3-month period. She couldn't walk upstairs, and she was this emaciated, was like almost like a vegetable when I met her, and don't know how she was, still keeping on going and living independently. And I was so surprised that we are living in a society that people are visiting her and she has family and they did not help her and they didn't care. You know, how is that? I mean, even a total stranger, even my worst enemy, I will not just let him to die. If he needs help, I'm gonna reach out and give him. He's a human, right? And we need to help people. And I found a lot of selfishness in people. So there was, generally people, as I am blind, people are very helpful, and it's common, for people. If I need help, I don't know which direction to go in, where to find the entrance of the mall, and so forth. And in the mall, where to find, how to find a particular place. So people give me directions or help me, to go there, or I need to come out to a certain spot, from inside a particular building to get, an Uber so that he can see me. And they are very helpful people in most of the places. But there are some cities, because I'm so well traveled, I've traveled to so many cities, and there are some cities where people are totally callous. They don't care. You can, and I could not believe, people are so cold. And even it's good for, I don't feel ashamed to ask for help because certain things I cannot do and I need to ask for help. But I've had to find and adjust and find a way how to help myself, because when help is not forthcoming, that's the easier way to ask for help, but not forthcoming, you have to find a way to help yourself, right? And there's always a way to help yourself, fortunately. And it's why I'm speaking about this is hoping that, if you watch this video up to this level, that you have it in your heart, to give and help selflessly. To be selflessly serving is something very important for your own progress in your life, in your success, in your abundance, and in your healing as well, right? Because you have to open that the core of you. The core of you is love. If you don't have love, how? Because that is the base from which even the healing energy comes, abundance comes, good fortune comes, overcoming challenges comes from the core of you, from your heart, right? So you need to, remove those obstacles by helping others. The more you help others, the more you will open up your heart, and the more you will find life becoming easier for you. So hope that information helps you, and take care always.